And we live.
Back in here, Joe.
All right.
We here, son.
Today's big topic: character versus
Characters.
where we pit two either movie or video game characters, could be both, against each other. Now, we might change the lineup just a little bit in the sense that it might not be full-on versus, which is not false advertising.
I mean, it's still versus.
It's still
like,
versus.
It might not be a fight.
It may not be
person.
not like a fight to the death type of thing, but maybe like who would be better at this in a versus type of sense. Because it doesn't have to be about death and killing people. Come on.
Can't we all just get along?
Exactly. But we can be competitive and see who would beat the other person.
Who's the best around?
There can be only one. Wait for the next list. I know that person's not on this list, but that would have been good. All right, so kicking it off, we're going to go right into dun, dun, dun. John Wick versus
Robert McCall, the Equalizer.
Now, what should we do on this one? Should we do it just straight out battling, or should we do it if they need to protect someone?
We can do both because I think there'll be two different outcomes.
Okay. So me personally, straight out battling, gonna give the John Wick because he has a bulletproof suit.
Hey, Denzel don't need no suit because he just take him out.
So, if it was protecting though, like if I needed to be protected by someone and not die, maybe Denzel, but I'm not sure. In my personal opinion, just me. Obviously, you can argue differently. I think Wick would would take the victory on that one in either way.
I would say if we go against each other, I would say Wick overall. One, he's probably younger. He's younger, so that's for it. That gives him an advantage. They're both kind of like assassins, but I say Denzel's character Robert McCall is a better protector than Wick. Wick's an assassin,
right?
Wick's an assassin. So what Wick is designed, like all I'm gonna do is just take you out. I mean, technically in the was it the fourth movie? Like he came to try and protect his boy, and he still did die. So I mean, that was hiding him out. So Wick's not really a protector.
He didn't really protect that guy. That guy more or less was like, "Hey, go get out of here.
But was it,
I'll fight them."
Wick's not. That's not like his strong suit. Is to sit there and protect people. His strong suit is.
For me, I'm just betting that he'll kill the people.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what Wick would do. Like he's not gonna go out there and say
he'll kill the people that are after me, basically.
Yeah, he's not going to.
So I'm
basically stay with you.
I'm not necessarily saying he'll be a better protector. I'm just saying I think he'll kill the people.
He'll go after. Here's the thing: is
they can get me.
If you die, oh well, he'll avenge you. Just know you'll be avenged.
Right? Yeah.
Just know you'll be avenged.
Like, damn, I told him to go left, he went right.
He'll avenge you. He doesn't necessarily go protect you. I feel like Robert McCall will do everything in his power to make sure you don't get hurt at all. That's why I say he probably gets that one.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like Wick will just be like, I mean, I'll try. But, if it happens, it happens. So that's kind of, I feel like that's the difference between the two characters.
Okay, that's fair.
And Wick's more of a just, I'm an assassin and I'm just going to shoot everybody. And then Denzel's going to have a conversation like, you sure you want to do this?
Okay, I can see that.
You sure you want to do this? Because if you want to keep on this path, then all y'all going to be gone.
Okay, I can see that. All right, not too bad. All right, let's roll to the next one. Dun, dun, dun. So you got
John McClane.
And is it John Riggs? Martin Riggs. From Lethal Weapon. Usually just called Riggs in most cases. Also becomes a captain at one point in time to take him off the streets because it causes too much damage.
I mean, they both do a bunch of damage.
So here's my thing. if we were doing a fight where you just put them in front of each other, no weapons, just hand-to-hand combat, I think Riggs would win. However, if it's something where it's situational, because of the fact he has what I refer to, I was just telling him this earlier, as die-hard luck, where he somehow wins in these unsurmountable situations. Like, there's no reason for this regular...
It's basically, even hand-to-hand up close, and he'll still find a way to win because he's die-hard.
If I remember correctly, the fourth film, I think the bad guys are actually making fun of that situation. That, like, isn't he just a cop? Yeah. Like, they pull up his, like, rap sheet and they just...
He's
like,
just a cop.
Somehow he survived all these crazy situations. Yeah. And then the dude's like, all right, well, he's not going to survive this one.
He's just a cop.
But he does. I mean, somehow.
A man go jump on, like, you know, a jet plane and just take it down solo by himself. Die hard,
because he's John McClane. so
it's like, if we come down to, like, hey, them versus, he's die hard. Like,
I'm just saying that if it's a regular fight,
die hard, yo. He can't die.
I think Riggs would win in a fight. Not saying he'll kill him. I'm just saying I think Riggs would win in a fight. But if it's a crazy scenario,
because Riggs is gonna go crazy, and then McClane's gonna do something weird, and then make like some comment as he wins.
Try to move this to like the middle.
Come to the coast, get a few laughs. Here we go.
There we go. Do that.
And he's like,
nope.
I have a machine gun, yo.
Yeah. So then you think McClane will win in either one?
I just think like just the die
basically
hard.
You're saying no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, just the die hard like luck of him, no matter what. Like, dude, he's exploding buildings, exploding planes, taking down like groups that are taking down the entire government.
Okay, that's fair.
They shut down the entire U.S. government. He's like, no problem, I got this. Solo, myself. This trained organization of just all like special forces that shut down the entire U.S. government. It's me.
Call that plot armor.
It's me. I'm Batman.
All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, does it that way? Okay, cool. Bow. Alright, can I put this over here somewhere, maybe? Oh.
You can make it.
I think this is probably still the best.
Yeah.
And then
right there.
Do that.
There you go.
There we go. Alright, so we got
John Rambo.
And
the Predator.
Alright. I know it's easy to say Predator at first glance, everyone. Trust me, I know this. Let's not forget, though, that Rambo is a crazy mofo. Like, literally...
That's what he do.
Psychotic. Like, not in his right mind type of stuff. And a sane Schwarzenegger character, which was... What was his name? Dang it.
Butch? I think it was Butch.
I'll have to look it up. All right, while we're doing that, we're going to look it up in the background. I'm going to turn this off for a second. But anyways, so Rambo, I'm going to give it to him. Only because it's crazy. It's Dutch. You're close.
Dutch, okay.
You're
Dutch
close.
or Butch, it was something like that. Yeah, it's Dutch.
Yeah, Dutch.
So it's Dutch, okay.
Yeah, Dutch. It's actually like such an obvious name now that I got looked it up. I'm like, why didn't we remember that? Okay, so in all fairness, Dutch, who was not a psycho, just a very well trained special forces type of dude.
Yeah, and he's more like extraction military. Like,
he was like called in. He like gets called in to do like cleanup stuff. Like he said, extraction, get someone from point A to point B.
Like Rambo's like jungle warfare. Like by myself, I don't need a team.
Dutch's team did what Rambo does by himself.
Yes.
So, taking that into account, I'm gonna say I think if you drop these two in the jungle,
it's like this. If Rambo doesn't know that the Predator is there, then I would say you could have a slight nod to this element of surprise that the Predator has toward it. So you might give him an odd. If they both jump in and it's like, hey, there's something in the forest, and he has to find what's in the forest, at least if Rambo knows there's something there, then I'd say I give it's close. Because he might still figure out like, hey, the hide in the mud and stuff like that because the predator can see him until he realizes that. But that's what he does though. He also hides in the mud, and that's basically his thing. Like I stealth. I don't get seen. I'm tracking. So they're both trackers, elite trackers and hunters.
So what I was gonna say, if you drop them both in the jungle, realistically, I think maybe the predator would win.
Yeah, just by technology.
Because if he comes across him and somehow sees him raise a bow or a gun or something, he will immediately be like, "Oh, he's a threat."
Yeah.
But if he's fighting other people, he might be like, "Oh, like you might be a worthy opponent," and be on some honor type of BS. Yes. Which, in that case, I think where he would make the mistake, because then Rambo would get all crazy, do some Rambo prep time stuff.
Yeah, and just like booby trap the entire forest. Yeah. Just the same thing like Dutch did.
Yeah, and maybe it would be a different story. But I think right off the bat, if they just run into each other, I think Predator hands down.
Yeah,
literally, he would probably beat almost anyone you put him against. Realistically, if it's in that situation, and the only way you maybe get an edge on him is if you have prep time. So Batman
prep time. So that's the only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing I would say would basically give him the nod is like, okay, you have some prep time. I know something's in the forest. I'm hunting it, or even the fact that he's just hunting it and then tracking the predator like that. That would be weird if he's actually tracking hunting the predator.
Realistically, if they were just both in the forest just chilling, since Rambo doesn't normally have all his weapons and gear in a offensive looking role, he may sense the predator's like watching him or something, right? And then he'll do something. He'll probably walk him towards a booby trap.
Yeah.
But if it's where he gets completely caught off guard, then
it's
a wrap. But yeah. So ultimately, if it was a fight that they both knew about, I think the predator probably would win. But if it's one where it's like the predator is doing that thing where he wants to see if he's worthy to fight him, and he just keeps observing, and then John Rambo's gonna be
Rambo would make like some sort of like mud bow and arrow to shoot him. So he couldn't even see it coming.
I think he would end up figuring out a way to like topple him or something. Yeah. But if it's just you drop him down, Predator probably is gonna win. So that's my take on that one. You?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much like it's pretty much it's just the Predator over surprise, then it's Predator. It's straight up if they just come straight head to head, Predator.
Yeah. Oh man.
No bias, yeah. Bond. James Bond.
As I was saying this earlier, I was like, I know what you guys might be thinking, but we have Bond with he does the impossible to Ethan, who does the unbelievable, right? Which is in his Mission Impossible films. Now, the reason why I say unbelievable, because if you're going to sit there and tell me you've seen a scene and you wholeheartedly believe that was going to be something that was doable, you're lying. I know you're lying, number one. Because almost literally everything he does, like, I cannot believe that they're doing that. It's literally unbelievable stuff that happens in that movie. Where with Bond, you're like, okay. I mean, probably not possible, but he did it, Yeah. But Ethan does some ridiculous stuff. Man, I don't know. Do you have a favorite you're leaning towards already?
It just depends on what you're asking him to do.
Because honestly, it's a difficult matchup.
Well, here's the thing. I also say
in training, because they both have very good hand-to-hand combat skills.
Yes.
But one is a 007 agent, which we all know means you got license to just smoke whoever we want to. Yeah. But also another does more of intelligence gathering, extraction, protecting.
So like they're both
He doesn't even want people on his own team to die.
Yeah, so
right?
like he's all about preserving any life, every life, even the villain, unless he really has to.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like doing it. Where,
Like, you are pure evil.
But I will say that there's a big difference between it is everything that Ethan does, he's a team. Bond is basically in the field solo. Now, he does have a team for gadgets. They give it to him, but once he gets the gadget, it's on him.
Yep.
So Ethan has a full team that's hacking.
One-man wrecking crew.
That's hacking and everything else. Where Bond's like, hold on, let me be on this computer real quick.
Bond might ask for like a quick hack or something, or like,
well, that's the older one.
Or he might ask for a device or something.
The Daniel Craig one is actually.
No, I was gonna say he might ask for a device so he can do the hacking.
Yeah.
Whereas Ethan typically has his whole crew doing
things for
crazy
him.
stuff.
Yeah, Ethan's not really on the computer
And
unless
then you got
it's
his They both don't have ways to blend in with crowds. The whole like, what do you call that? Where's that facial thing? The mask.
The mask, yes.
But there's an actual name that they call the technology though, right?
I totally forgot. But yeah, there's a thing where you get that whole like mask and blend in and get the voice.
He's literally a master of disguise. Bond is always Bond because Bond is like, I'm James Bond.
Bond's like, you know who I am and why I'm here. I'm still gonna get this done whether you know I'm here or not.
This is happening. I don't care if you've got the whole Mexico ready to take me out.
He's like, I have a fake name I could give you, but I'm here as James Bond.
Yeah.
So just let you know I'm here for you.
Actually, I think that's how he rolls up in Casino Royale, right? Doesn't he supposed to have some
fake name? Yeah,
he just says James Bond.
Yeah, he's like, they already know who I am. So what's going on?
Legit.
They've already checked out who I am. So why am I gonna do it? So I would say if you're talking about going against each other, I would say Bond might just because he has gadgets designed to kill. It's everything on him is just designed to kill. And there's some other stuff on him. I mean, his suit is probably bulletproof.
And the man is hella torture proof.
Yeah. I mean, hell, the suit he's probably wearing is bulletproof from the get-go. So, that alone, and then he has all kinds of gadgets on him to just do what he needs to do. The watch, rings.
I think he has something in his tooth too, right?
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, whatever else he has, he might have a cigarette or a case or a lighter or something.
Tie pin.
All those things.
Shoe.
Hell, that little like napkin square could be like a gas that goes off, and like you never know.
Could be a lethal cutting device.
Yeah,
his pen could be a laser.
Like he has a full like arsenal on him
at all times.
Yeah. Stuff in his shoes.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. So Ethan kind of has some stuff, but it's not like he has to go get those gadgets.
Yeah, he's not constantly carrying them.
He's not constantly carrying them, so he'll like go get something, or they'll go hack something. He might have like glasses at sea, but his is not really meant to take people out. It's to go by people and sneak by people.
Yeah, more espionage, extraction, like stopgap type of stuff.
And I think the way it is that Bond would more take out his team first, and then go after him. So he would isolate Ethan. So you take the team out. Now he doesn't have a team. And you isolate him.
If he just has a target of Ethan, I think he would just take Ethan out and be done with it.
Well, that's not. Bond always takes everyone else out. Like he isolates them. So you isolate them first. So you have no help. You have no hacker. You have no. So you basically isolate them. So it's just them two alone.
That would be an interesting one for sure. Because I would be curious, like how he would go about doing it. Would he strike for the head if he knew where the head was at, or to your point, would he do something where because he has to lure him out, type of thing.
I think you could lure him out because he already knows he's a master of disguise. He can blend in.
Plus, he already knows that Ethan wouldn't want to give up anyone on his team.
Yeah, and that's how you draw him out too. So now if you go after his team, it's eventually going to bring him out. So if you take his team out, now he also don't have support.
Now, this was a versus, and who would I trust to get the bad guy taken care of first to save the world?
Bond.
Probably Bond.
Because he's not coming back. The bad guy ain't coming back.
Yeah. So this dude might capture him, and then the bad guy might pass his plan off to second in command or something crazy like that. Bond will just kill everyone on his way up to the boss.
Up to the boss.
So when it's like, my reinforcement, oh, I killed those guys on the way in here. The guys in the tunnel, they're all dead.
There we go.
Like they're dead. Sorry. It'd have to be like a mole somewhere or something that Bond didn't know about, and he'd be like, oh, I guess I'm not done yet.
He's not gonna leave anybody else. We're like, Ethan's like, oh, I'm gonna arrest them. And then that's even like how the third Mission Impossible, where you arrest the guy and then they find out his name and he's like, oh, Ethan. Okay. And it creates a whole issue for him because he just didn't take the guy out.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the whole thing, is the fact that Ethan is more just like, now if you were talking about extracting a target, then yeah, we go Ethan.
Or just getting intel in general.
Yeah, if you're extracting a target and getting intel, like basically like going in there and leaving no trace, then yes, Ethan is your guy.
Get in, get out.
Get out. No one knows that you were there. Boom. Completely. Yeah. Then that's who you want to take. But
hands down.
Like the full like spy thing.
In the last Mission Impossible, they didn't even know it was him that got into that presidential cabinet, right?
Yeah.
And the only reason why the other dude knew is because he was like, "Oh, like I know you. I talked to you."
Yeah. But like that's.
But he had no way to prove that he was actually there because it wasn't on film or a camera or anything. Everyone thought he was the other diplomat.
So that's the difference in the two of them. I'm like, one's a full spy, one's like, yeah, Bond's a spy, but I'm here to take you out.
Yeah, so that won't be good. Next. Bum, bum, bum. Now, at first glance, I automatically want to say Blade.
He did,
and not because not because it's man versus woman, or just because he's black. It's because comic book Blade, stupid more powerful than what they put him in the film.
Yeah.
But because we're doing the film-based characters, she literally is riding the coattails of a Blade film. Like almost 20 years later, damn near.
Oh, the film.
10 years later.
Not even because Blade 1 was like 98, and she was 8 years maybe
5 I think, because I think hers was 03. First film was 03 for her.
So 5 years. So okay. 5 years later.
So 5 years later, there's a little bit more of a precedent for like what you can do as far as technology is concerned. Plus, it's Sony. I think it's doing this one, right? Did Blade?
Or
Fox.
Fox,
right?
Yeah.
Fox.
I think Fox did both.
Did they?
Yeah.
So then they have those to like build off of. So she gets a little bit more. The writer for this one had background in working with Marvel stuff. So based off of all that,
vampire killer or vampire?
Yeah, the vampire versus the vampire killer. Now, when you say it that way, right? You still want to say Blade. Okay. However, she has displayed stronger feats in all 3 movies than he has in any of the movies.
4 or 5 movies.
And the only time he had crazy strength was the one time he like actually had some human blood. So maybe he gets a little human blood and has a little bit more of a competitive edge. Because he was actually able to fight with the blood god.
And then too, I don't know.
Strength-wise.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know how like his weapons, like in terms of will affect her, like in terms of like his like UV bullets.
I mean, he's got silver and holy water.
I don't know. But silver.
Stakes,
so,
right?
but the thing is, so for her, silver doesn't in her universe doesn't hurt her. It's for the werewolves. It's for the werewolves. So his silver weapons don't actually hurt her.
The UV bullets is the only thing that would mess with her.
Yeah, that would probably mess with her. Yeah. But yeah, like his normal arsenal of like silver
and
does
like
nothing.
Regular damage for him is more of a problem than it is for her.
Yeah.
At least from what we.
Which actually was something weird is they're both going to be shooting silver, and it does not actually hurt them.
UV though, right?
Well, because he gets UV later, but originally he's shooting silver.
Well, I'm stringing together her 3 movies versus his 3 movies, right?
Yeah.
The three movies that he's in versus the 3 movies that she's in.
Well, like his UV.
Is there 4? Is there 4 that she's in?
It's like 5.
5. Okay.
But but his
I'm
UV
saying across all.
His UV was experimental. He didn't have a whole lot of.
And that wasn't even his, right?
Yeah. So it wasn't like he was experimental. So he only had
he
like
got
a
that
few.
From the
Whistler.
Those what was that group called in the second one? The Ravengers or something like that.
Yeah. So he only had a few of those. So it's not like he had like that's a normal arsenal as the UV ones. It's normally the silver ones, and she's normally shooting silver. So they're both shooting silver across, but it doesn't actually hurt them. It's for the vampires in his universe and werewolves in her universe.
Yeah, it's not adding extra damage. At least to him. Like if he got hit by a regular bullet, I think
even the silver is still gonna hurt him either. I mean, it's gonna hurt. Like the damage that it does, like the werewolf, and burn him or anything. It's just gonna be because it's a bullet and he gets shot. That's the damage it's gonna hurt him with.
Yeah, and in comic book land, his healing factor is stupid.
Really, way faster. His is way slower in the movies.
And her healing factor in the movies seems pretty quick.
It's faster than his, but it's still going to take some time.
Regular bullets?
Yeah, it's still going to take some time.
And it seems like just bombardment from bullets, even though he has the bulletproof vest, he would take longer to heal.
Yeah.
From an overall fight.
Yeah.
And she kind of seems to be stronger from most of the stuff that they've shown her do.
She's going to be stronger and would be faster. But then it's too, he's a daywalker. So they also go time of day, how long they're fighting. So, you know.
If it's a late night fight, maybe he'll end up winning because the sun comes up.
Yeah. So he might.
Because she can't walk in the sun as far as I remember. I don't remember her walking in the sunlight at all.
So they still have to go down and like their crypt and chill for the day. So
I will prepare for my next duel with Blade Daywalker.
So then that's also, but then two, she has access to, because she has no problem drinking blood. So that would also heal her and get her going. Yeah. And she has no problem just, if they're fighting, oh, there's a random person here.
Yeah.
And I'm good. Whereas he has an issue with that.
Yep.
So he would have to find some store of blood or something like that to actually heal himself.
And he has this like packets of like transfusion blood type of stuff?
Well, he has like some synthetic blood. He's getting synthetic blood. So then it's like, okay, if he maybe goes to like a blood
and that was
bank,
only if he needed to be healed.
Yeah. As if he goes to a blood, well, he still needs it regularly just to survive. He needs
that's right. So he doesn't feed.
Yeah.
To give him to the hunger.
So unless he finds like some sort of blood bank, and then okay, now I'm souped up, and then that might give him a different edge. Because then hand to hand, it's still going to be her because they both have a sword.
I'm going to be biased and say if it's a sword fight, Blade wins.
She's still faster.
Just because I think he has fought some very strong people with swords. Blood God, and then at the end of the third one was literally the original vampire god who created all vampires, and he beat him.
Well, the Blood God...
Granted, not straight on.
Well, the Blood God he beat because he got overconfident and he hit him with all those like the special blood packet thing.
Yeah.
So that's
but as far as a sword technique, though, he still wasn't better than him.
No, because
he's able to block them all. He just keeps getting hit more or less.
Yeah. But that dude's trash at fighting. Yeah. She's way better of a fighter.
But the other one that he fights, which is the original vampire at the end of the third one, he's like the granddaddy of all vampires basically, and he literally has armor and sword and the whole thing. And I forget how he beats him. I want to say it's something.
He still has the third one. He has a group though. He has a team.
Blade does?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the two people, right?
Yeah.
You got Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
But that actual last fight, they don't really do anything as far as I remember, and it's just those two. He wins through I call it talk no jitsu, which is he somehow manages to verbally confuse the enemy and then makes him question his whole
what? Got you.
Yeah, these vampires are weak. Is that what I'm fighting for? A weaker generation of vampires?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Something. I forget the exact way that he beats him. Do you remember? It's been so long since I watched it.
It's been so long. Yeah, I haven't watched it because the third one wasn't
It was not that good.
It was not the greatest.
No. 1, 2...
2 was still fine.
It was not as good as the first one, but it wasn't that far behind it, I would say.
Yeah.
The third was a big letdown.
Yeah.
So...
And then, for Underworld, I'd say the first, 2, maybe 3, and then they just went.
First one peaked for sure. They could have done a lot with the story, and I don't know what happened.
They just kept pushing those bad boys out. I'm like, hey.
I feel like they were trying to do too much in the stories. I feel like they could have just asked, dude, from what I understand, the guy who did the first one and that was in the second one, he only really had a movie script planned for 2. And then the third one,
I think they went back in time and bought like how the vampire and the werewolf thing started.
Yeah, the whole treaty and the
how they became like werewolves became like servants.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah. And then like.
But if I recall correctly, that writer he wasn't a part of the third film. I think they ended up just like. I think he's ended up like selling his rights off because he didn't want to keep making the films.
Yeah.
So, but he still got money regardless. So he didn't care if they did bad or good. He's like, hey, I'll just be remembered for the films that were good.
Like, I did the good ones.
Yeah. So.
But
at the end of the day, man,
you picking Selena or you picking Blade?
It was a knockdown, drag out fight.
Here's the thing. It sucks, but like the way Wesley Blade is set up, without day or sunlight, I don't think he wins.
It's her.
It's her.
Yeah.
Because it's like he needs the day.
Now, if he's aware that they need to fight, he's probably gonna find her before and maybe get the jump on her.
Yeah,
maybe.
Because he would have to handle her like sometime during the day, and he has that advantage. If it's like starting at like 11 p.m. at night, he might not make it.
Now, if I need someone to protect me, I'm gonna pick Blade just because he could be out during the day.
There you go. He's like, if someone there, he's like, I need daytime protection too, so you can't be be going to sleep on me. And
I need some help.
I need some help on that.
Unless I'm sleeping in the coffin with you, you ain't going.
Unless we're someplace completely like dark and there's no sunlight, then I'm like.
Plus, I can't trust that you might take a nibble.
That is.
I know he's not gonna eat me.
That is another truth.
Or get mad and be like, F this guy.
She's like, anyways. What? I'll just turn you real quick. Yeah. I didn't ask for that.
Like, I didn't ask to be changed. I still want to maintain my humanity. Thank you very much.
No, you're a vampire now.
Yeah, so for that part, I would go with Blade for sure. All right, next one.
Cloud Strife versus Link.
Okay, so the purist in me, because I personally love Cloud's character way more than Link, automatically wants to say Cloud. Because he did fight one of the greatest villains created ever in a video game.
Sephiroth.
Now, your boy Link has gotten some upgrades over the years. And Cloud was just badass from the jump. I mean, there's not really anything to say about the fact that he's just dope from the beginning, pretty much, really.
Yeah.
Heck, the only thing really that's gotten better for him is his animation.
That pretty much.
Right? I mean, he was already badass. Pure fight, maybe Cloud wins just because he's a member of Soldier, and Link,
he's not really a soldier.
Yes, he's a member. Loosely saying member.
He was never a member. It's okay.
As far as what we're told, anyways.
No, they tell him he was never a member. He actually admits it.
Okay,
he was a guard.
With amnesia, thinking that he's a soldier.
No, he just took the soldier's sword and then he just acted like he never remembered that thing. Because it was like they said with the materia or something, like basically made him kind of black out that area.
Have amnesia?
Well, it's not. He remembered. He knows it. He just doesn't want to like.
Because even from the flashbacks, the actual soldier whose sword that is,
Zack
hides him. Yeah, Zack hides him behind it, and that's when he's in the guard
suit. Yeah, he's a guard. Yeah, he's a guard. Because that's what like he goes back to like I was in the town where Tifa.
And when he's then when he's technically saving him, he calls him soldier, and somehow his memory pieces together that he is part of Soldier. But,
and that's why he goes like, "Oh, I'm a soldier," and that's why every time like he fights a soldier, they're like, "I don't think you a soldier."
Yeah. In the beginning, because like his memories are kind of fractured a little bit. Like, but I think deep down he knows he's not a soldier. Yeah. But he has that basic soldier outfit for a hot minute.
And he may or may not be a clone of Sephiroth. They've never actually established if he was not.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that's also too why he's so powerful, because he may or may not be a clone. So they've never really established. I think they never really
Because the
established.
soldier program was pretty wild.
They gave Sephiroth DNA to everybody.
I probably need to go and rewatch the movie.
Yeah.
Because there's two in the OVA. There's a scene where he's talking to that president, and the president says something to him like, "You don't even know what you are."
Yeah.
But I don't remember specifically what he says.
Because they have with the Calamity, which is Geneva.
Geneva.
And they basically give all the Geneva cells, and I think Sephiroth's more basically creative experiment from Geneva.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he calls Geneva Mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then the soldiers are just basically given like doses.
Mm.
And then they also make clones.
And that leads to stigma later on down in the storyline.
No, stigma is the lifeblood.
But again, it leads to stigma later on in the story.
Well, that doesn't come from Genova. That comes from the Earth saving itself. Because the lifeblood comes out and saves it from the meteor.
Well, because he ends up having stigma, and then so do the two other people.
Yeah, because it's from it's from the Earth. The Earth is actually giving people stigma.
Ah, okay.
That's why at the end it's healed by the Earth. The Earth actually heals them eventually. It was like, okay, like the Earth actually poisons everybody, and then it was like, I guess.
And it's the water in a church of all places.
Yeah, and it's the water basically decides to like heal them. But yeah, it's from the Earth having to say because they kept
where Cloud was like sleeping on the floor.
Exactly. That's why you do it.
Somehow it magically was in that location. Which it's like hinted that like Tifa, right? Is like the one that like comes in there and then like somehow I was like, oh, the water will heal them.
Because one of the kids gets hit by it and they get healed. So I mean it was pretty fine. But
interesting. But Link has a past. See what I did there?
Link to that past.
And he's got. Would he need to use time travel to beat him? I don't know.
I would say,
and he's got the Master Sword.
But I say here's the thing: if you sit there and say, okay, would he need time travel? Yes, because he has summons, so he can summon like Bahamut and all these other things on, like all these other monsters.
Of the rounds.
Yeah, so he can do all these other monsters on top of his sword abilities. Because so he has all these like sword abilities on top of the monsters he can basically do, and on top of all the magic that he can do.
Whereas he has to use a lot of different items to do the different stuff. Like so, he can throw bombs, fire sword, fire stick, fire magic.
And then he can just do ice.
And he has the different suits, right? So he can do like the heavy suit, water suit, fire suit, which he can change like on the fly.
But then he has materia.
I don't know if that gives him the advantage though, because again,
he can call all that magic.
Once
right there at the fly.
He can hit him everything out at once.
And then he can also heal himself.
Yeah.
And then there's also a self revive. So even if Link happens to kill him,
like
he gets to bring him back to life.
The Wind Waker stuff, the tier stuff that he got recently. I don't think any of that's stopping Cloud, to be honest with you.
Yeah. The only thing I can say is the time. But then Cloud has slow and stuff like that. Because he would have to still use it. Where Cloud's just like, boom.
And technically, even the Ganon fight in the latest one, he doesn't beat him by himself. It's all the people he like meets along the way kind of help him fight him. I'm going to give it to Cloud. Personally. I think Link maybe puts up a good fight.
Yeah. I think Cloud has so much stuff that he can do on the fly.
Yeah.
Where like Link needs a couple seconds, where Cloud can just immediately call fire, whatever monsters, and just instantly do it. And I mean, Cloud has a group if he wants to call them. They're just as strong as he is. So even if Link brings people, he's like, well, my people have all the magic and abilities I also have.
The world of Hyrule is not as strong as the one that the Final Fantasy realm is in. So, like, what is his planet called? It's supposed to be like an Earth, but it's like a different Earth.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
Not the city he's in either. It's like Midgar is the city he's in, right?
So Midgard is the main city. Is for Cloud. That's the major city. That's like their New York, I guess you would say.
Is it called Earth in there?
They just say planet. They don't actually.
They don't actually say
They
Earth,
don't say.
right?
They don't say what the name of their planet is.
I guess realistically it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Either way, Cloud's winning.
Cloud's getting that dub.
Bum bum bum. Will he be back? Or cease and desist.
Stop if you want to live.
Man, okay.
RoboCop or the Terminator?
I personally want to give this to the Terminator right off the bat. What about you?
I'd say it's closer. I feel like it's closer in terms of just being right off the bat, just because the Terminator has to find his weapons. So if he shows up in, RoboCop's unit, because technically RoboCop can't go to his time because they can't send metal. They'd have to put like another flesh over top of RoboCop, so he can't go to the future. Mm-hmm. So he has to come to RoboCop's time. Mm-hmm. So he has no weapons. Mm-hmm. So Terminator has to now find weapons first to even attack RoboCop. So regular weapons against RoboCop, his own time weapons against him. So it's like, well,
I would just point out that there's literally not a film that this version of Terminator is in that he doesn't always find weapons before his target.
True. But then you also figure out that, okay, how many actual weapons are actually regular weapons are hurting Terminator?
And in the
RoboCop.
In RoboCop's world, there are a plenty of weapons out there.
But most of those aren't hurting him. They have to actually find like specialized weapons to fight him. So like the normal gangs on the street don't have it. Like they had to actually, have a special like crime.
The other reason why I'm picking him, because mobility-wise, unless you can point out a situation in any of the 3 movies that RoboCop was in, we're not counting the reboot. I'm not counting the reboot. His mobility doesn't seem to be
it's weird.
High, whereas Terminator is very agile, can basically move like any extremely athletic human being, and has crazy strength too. So, I mean, we've never seen RoboCop accomplish any kind of crazy feat of strength.
Oh, he's like punched around those Ed 209s. He's still robotically and strong. So it's not the fact that like it's all robot pressure in his arms too.
I just think Terminator would win because he's more agile.
Well, here's the thing. So he's coming off shooting. What's to say you'll just shoot him right there in that red eye?
I mean, if he's really concerned about his eyes being taken out, just hold his hands up. It's not like he's gonna stand there walking to him.
Yeah,
he's gonna run.
That's the T-1000.
That's
the T-1000.
But I'm making a joke.
The 800 wasn't doing that.
He still would run.
The 800 walked, Joe.
He can run. He can run.
He didn't really do much of it. He did a lot of walking. He did
a
lot of walking.
He was directed to do that.
He did a lot of walking.
He was directed to that. He can run.
The 1000 was out there. The 1000 was out there like this.
He's running a few movies. Clearly, he runs because he catches the T-1000 through that wall that one time when he stops him in the mall.
He just shoulder rushed it. He didn't run. He just shoulder rushed the thing.
He's not in a stationary position and then just lunges forward. I'm sure he was running to catch him.
Nah, he didn't run.
So
he didn't run, yo.
But we know for a fact he's more nimble. He's more agile.
I feel like he loses
more athletic.
When he loses like flesh, he becomes less nimble, which is weird. But in the movies, it is true. But when he loses it, he becomes less.
I think it's just a weird acting choice to appear more robotic, which really,
like he does he becomes
there's
less
not
nimble.
A reason for that to happen.
But it does though. Like in the movies,
yeah.
He becomes like when he loses flesh, he becomes way more like slower and robotic.
Which is weird though, because there's like that whole arm that he like peels off to show that he's a robot.
Yeah. And
then all he does is put that glove to cover back up, and then his arms, he's just moving it like normal again.
Yeah, but then like every time he's like, even like when you look at like when they go in the future, the robots and they fight, they go like they turn. Yeah. Like, they're like way more robotic when they actually move around.
So I'm not really sure what that's all about, to be honest with you. Again, I think that's just more of a director type of thing. But again, like I said, from what I've seen, they are more athletic, more nimble. The fighting is different. RoboCop is very rigid when he moves.
But a pole through the chest, I actually couldn't deactivate him, so it's...
It didn't kill him, he came back.
But it's really limited his movement.
I mean,
So
put a pole through him, he's done.
Hey, well, that's what I'm saying. They both going.
Terminator is definitely surviving a pull through the chest
But also remember, if they get close,
he's definitely dying.
If he's close, he has that
literally
that massive spike.
This and like maybe some upper torso is what's left of this man. Yes. Everything else is robot. So you have fully robot versus some
cybernetic.
Cybernetic organisms where he does have some actual living tissue, right? He takes a bullet to the brain, he's okay. He takes a bullet to the brain,
he's still fine because that's a robot right there. It's the same shield in the rest of his body.
I don't know.
It's the same shield in the rest of his body. He has done it. Like you ever seen where
you can shoot him in his eyes. A little visor.
The visor, they've done that too. Where they did like a bunch of damage for him to finally crack it. It took like a lot of damage for him to crack it. Like he had to get beat up by like Ed 209.
He probably did shoot like 1,000 rounds at his visor and be done with it.
Where you getting 1,000 rounds?
I don't know however many street punks he kills or takes weapons from. You gotta remember, he's an officer of law. This thing was built for killing. I'm giving it to the thing that was built for killing.
Which normal people have beaten.
Not normal people.
Sarah Connor,
soldier from the future,
that had regular weapons,
who turned out to be his dad of the person who sent him back in time.
Yes. We
won't even touch that paradoxical situation there.
Yeah. And then a more advanced version.
I need you to go back in time and have sex with my mother,
so I can be born.
So you guys can have me be born.
Well, yeah. What I'm saying, a regular person with regular weapons. I mean, he's still a guy.
I want to talk to James Cameron about that.
He had a guy beat him. All the thing that's ever damaged him is other robots.
Or did they trick him into the machine thing?
I mean, so if a person can do that, you're saying RoboCop can't do that?
Oh, I will say this though: if we factor in the fact that at base level, the T800 or T1800,
it's 800, yeah,
T800 is actually not that smart because it does say that he's learning because he's hanging out with the kid.
Yeah, so I'm saying he still
again,
has human knowledge and awareness, and then he also has the computer upgrade to see stuff, and then he has computer targeting. And he has that weapon that is not normal issue that does damage. Because that isn't a normal issue street weapon. That is a more powerful weapon than a street weapon.
So you're going RoboCop still?
I would say RoboCop, it's going to be close. I would say probably just because of he knows better of the environment. He takes him.
I'm still going to give it to Terminator because machine built to kill. All right.
That doesn't really kill often.
Next. All right, we got Indiana Jones
versus the new Indiana Jones.
Pretty much, this man here is the blueprint that they based this guy off of.
There is literally no difference, except for he doesn't have a hat. That's the only difference he doesn't have.
And he's younger.
He's younger,
and he doesn't have an older.
He does
sidekick that initiates for him to go on the adventure.
He does. They both have a whip because in the fourth game he has a whip.
He's not a professor of archaeology.
That is true.
You know what? We know what else? He also doesn't teach at a college.
That is true. Well, that's the same thing. You just said professor and teaching at a college, but it's okay.
Yeah, professor of archaeology.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you said teacher.
You could be a professor and not teach, though.
Yes, but the professor means that's the name of the profession.
No, profession doesn't necessarily mean you're a professor. I work in a profession. I'm not a professor.
But professor means you're working.
No. You could be like, hello, professor. Doesn't mean that's your professor.
But it still means he's working there.
Professor. Be like, hey, he's known as the professor. So
basically do you go modern day Indy or 1942 ending, or 1939, which I didn't realize the other day. Which I felt dumb. I didn't realize Temple of Doom is a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the other day. I was like, I looked at the date.
Okay, for you of all people,
I never looked at the. I didn't really look. I looked at. I was looking at Raiders and I looked at the date for Temple and I was like, oh, that's before. Because it's 39 and the other one was 40. And I think every time I watch it, I just assume the time and I don't actually look at it. And I was like, oh yeah, it's around the same time. And then I was like, oh wait.
So leading up to the recent film, I ended up on this Instagram thread where everyone was going, liar, how'd you know it was a prequel? I never paid attention to the opening.
Like, I didn't that for some years.
And someone was like, I'm one of those people that always looks at the year that pops up. And he's like, I sat there and he's like, and then someone was like, this was him. And he's like, Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like, shh. And like, I'm the same way where I always like, I'm like, year is the.
Yeah.
And I always ponder about the year because I'm like, they're showing us the year because there's some significance here.
Then I'm like, what the hell happened to Short Round from Temple of Doom? It's
gone. They're not
the Raiders.
I don't know who to
it's
give
just
that
it's
one to.
it comes down like they're literally the same. The only thing is like, okay, if they're going there's an artifact you want to go after. Indy is better because he will just know he'll have the ability to do whatever artifact it is. So it doesn't matter what the artifact is.
I'm gonna simplify it. So say what you need to say. I'm gonna make my reason why I choose who really easy.
What, the fact that Nathan Drake is basically a copy of Indy, so Indy probably wins, but he's an updated version. I'm just gonna go with Indy because I feel like just overall he has the knowledge. If you're looking for an artifact, whatever comes across, he has the knowledge for that. Whereas Nathan is just like winging it most of the time and hope it turns out correctly.
He's got Nathan Drake luck.
Yeah, sometimes, but like he knows some things, but if it's not pertaining to what he's normally going after, he doesn't really know it. So you can't just throw him after any treasure or any type of relic.
Yeah,
because he won't know everything. Where Indy's like, I'm an archaeologist. I've studied everything.
Heard of it? Familiar with it?
Yeah. I speak dead languages and everything else.
It's in my basement downstairs.
Yeah, I do all this. So I know all of these things that I can bring up and understand it. Whereas Drake's like,
I'm going to give it to Indy. Not for all the things you said.
Because he has the hat?
Nope. The whip.
Drake has a whip.
But he's clearly better with the whip.
In the fourth one, he's swinging and using it. So he's using it as like a movement.
I'm still going to say Indy's better with the whip. And that's why I picked
He's using it for movement. So he can literally go across chasms and stuff. Indy's only done that once and and he barely got across.
But he can use it to fight people.
So does Drake.
I'm still going to give it to Indy.
Like they both have a whip. You forgot about that. they gave
I
him
remember
a
he
whip.
uses the whip, but I don't remember his whip usage being that high. I remember a lot.
Yeah,
more.
like he uses it like to swing across.
I remember
everything.
it a lot being more firearms. I know he uses you do the whip when you want to jump across something.
Yeah, and he can actually do it and use it like as an offensive weapon. But it was in the game. It's better to shoot someone because it's just faster than using the whip to do things on it. But you could use it on people.
Now, to be devil's advocate, if the treasure involves snakes at all, I'm picking Nathan.
Yeah, because he's not worried about snakes at all. But I would say this. Drake's a better fighter than Indy.
So 1v1, just a fist fight, you're picking...
I'm picking Drake.
Okay.
I'm picking Drake. Drake's a better fighter.
That's what I was gonna about to transition to that myself. If you're fighting stuff, I'm picking Indy. If you're gonna go straight fisticuffs, I'm gonna go with Nathan Drake.
Because he's also been like a thief. So he's almost better stealthing in than Indy.
Yep.
So he's already has that expertise.
Now, if you paired the two,
they're taking wherever you got.
Pretty much, yeah.
Whatever you got,
whatever it is gonna get taken.
Whatever's hitting on the thing, they're taking that bad boy.
So that's a good one, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all.
That's all of them. So that was 8 verses there that you just saw from us. Tell us what you think.
Give us your winners. Who do you have winning these situations?
Are there any suggestions? Are there a duo or someone you want us to throw in and maybe make it a three-way?
Maybe.
Or someone replace another character.
Like if we threw in like Laura Croft in that last one. What happens? Laura Croft versus Nathan Drake or Laura Croft versus Indy?
Don't know.
You got him there. Or you have
T-1000 versus RoboCop.
T-1000. RoboCop ain't got a chance on that one. That one is a hands down T-1000. I'm not even going to debate that.
Morbius versus Selena.
Morbius is getting work, Joe. Even if Morbius has more powers, I'm still picking Selena.
Oh man,
just because he's in a better movie. Oh, I had one. Okay, this is one I thought of.
Twilight vampires versus Selena.
Oh, they're losing. Okay, I have one that just I thought of, which we could do. Which I don't know, not a hand-to-hand combat type situation, but in shooting. Legolas, Hawkeye. Arrows. So you got Hawkeye versus Legolas. It's like, who would win in that situation? Now, what would you do? The Bowmasters. It's like the two bows of Hawkeye versus Legolas.
So you're saying this right here?
Yeah.
This matchup.
Hawkeye versus Legolas. They don't really miss. They don't miss. So it's one don't miss and one of the one's an elf that don't miss. Now, hand to hand, Legolas is walking Hawkeye left.
Okay, so hear me out.
Okay.
It seems like an obvious choice, but I'm going to point out one thing that maybe some people might be overlooking. Legolas is an elf.
That's what I said. That's the elf. Yeah.
And has unlimited endurance.
Right, so you'll never get tired.
So they could shoot until the cows come home. He's not going to suffer at all. No, he's not going to get tired.
He's not going to get tired.
So at some point, because he is human, Hawkeye would lose.
But
that's the only caveat.
The thing with Hawkeye says he never miss, because if he misses, he won't ever be Hawkeye. So something in him is, even if he's tired, he gonna hit that shot.
I'm just saying, in an endurance battle, Legolas, regardless, is gonna win.
Oh, I mean, yes, because he does.
At least for me, that's what I'm picking.
Because he doesn't need like sleep or nothing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's an immortal elf, so yeah. I mean, but think about the fact that Hawkeye is literally thought about an immortal elf. Like, you lose because he got tired.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why I'm saying him off the bat, because clearly Hawkeye is a bad mofo. I mean, when the snap happened, he was like, "Bad guys of the world, fear me, for I am Ronin."
Like, fear me, because I will come for you.
Maybe killing you will make me feel like my family is coming back.
Yeah.
Like, he literally has, like, Yakuza, like, "Hey, man, give me whatever you want. Just stop killing us." He's like, "Give me my family back." Bro, we didn't even kill them. I don't care.
Thing.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm empty.
Another bow user, which would be close, which I don't know how about her accuracy, which would be weird, is Candace Everdeen. Hunger Games. She's a bow user.
Oh.
She's a bow user. So her and Hawkeye.
I give it to Hawkeye.
No, I'd probably say it's Hawkeye. But she doesn't miss either based on, her world. She doesn't miss.
She does. She does a little. She does from time. She does from time to time.
She misses on purpose.
Yeah, but I still give it to Hawkeye, just because he's peak human physique, and just everything, heightened senses, ridiculous abilities.
But in an archery contest, they tie.
Nah,
because you can only hit so many bullseyes, so eventually you just die.
Nah, I think he still take it in an archery contest. Because like his overall strength, I think they would do something like they have to hit like a distance thing or something, and he'd probably do it. Or like moving targets, which he's used to that type of stuff.
She's a hunter; she does that too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying is if he start doing distance or more intricate moving targets, I think he's gonna do that. Plus, he doesn't necessarily need a bow to hit the target, which he's proven time and time again.
What?
It could be just literally he has like the equivalent skills of like bullseye, where it could be something like pick up some keys, throw it. He's gonna hit the bullseye, right? Yeah. She doesn't have that type of ability.
Oh no!
So that's why I'm still giving it to Hawkeye. It's interesting to throw her into the mix because she does have skill, but
yeah. No Candace Everdeen. Sorry. Fail.
Sorry, Katniss. I like you, Katniss.
You volunteer this tribute to get shot in there.
Yeah, not me. I don't mind watching. Like, good luck to you, Primrose.
Hey.
Good luck.
It's
your time to shine. Oh no? Oh, well, you should have been training instead of being a little prissy sister. But yeah, I give it to Legolas, hands down. At the end of the day, just because he's a freaking elf.
Yeah.
Too many skills. Now, never mind, because then that'll be because we have 3 movies, Legolas /4 if you count as unnecessary cameo, and this is just comic book Hawkeye.
Yeah. Right.
We're not even saying like which Hawkeye this is technically from this image. It's just make sure I'm still showing. Yeah, it's from his image. It would be comic book Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Which there's been crazy ranges of Hawkeye, and he's done crazy, unbelievable feats. I don't know if he's gotten any power cosmic or anything crazy like that, or if he got a buff from anything else down the road. But if you include every version of him, maybe he could end up winning. But if we just do plain old base Hawkeye
versus base Legolas,
I think Legolas still takes it because he's an elf that doesn't get tired. Yeah. So.
But elves do die.
Eventually. In another world.
They lose the orcs.
Yeah. We will not speak of the Amazon trash.
Well, even in the Lord of the Rings, the orcs kill a bunch of elves.
No, I know they do. They do. They kill a lot.
Can't miss. Because those elves miss. Legolas is like, I don't miss. She wins. See?
Wow.
Look, Candace wins.
All right, I have to show this momentarily because this is too stupid. So they're supposed to be having a archery contest, and she just shoots him instead.
Because she's used to shooting to the death. So she basically shoots Legolas in the chest.
It says, I thought we should kill each other.
They said do the best archery, right?
Katniss, everything is quiet. That's a good list of archers, though, to be honest with you.
So you got Robin Hood.
Hawkeye. Legolas. Katniss. Brave. Princess Chick.
Arrow.
Does it say who?
Marina? Mergina?
Murder.
Murder.
Yeah.
Green Arrow or Arrow.
Merida. That's what it is. Merida. That's right. Merida. Because she's Scottish. With her red hair. Ginger.
Oh, that means they're gonna make a character. Never mind. Have you seen that thing online where there's like every like ginger comic book character or cartoon character when they do a live action they make.
Yes. Well,
there's like there's a long list of them too.
She's starting off redhead, so I don't think they'll change her unless they do live action.
What's that? They do live action. They say, they switch all the redheads.
I wonder if it's considered too new to ever do live action. Maybe.
I mean, they're doing what's it called? Moana already.
That's true.
So it's not too new for live action.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And I think they're doing Lilo and Stitch.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're doing Lilo and Stitch and Moana.
I personally hope all those films fail and they get back to making something new or just stop.
And the fact they're just like, Rock, come back and just be the same character.
Yeah.
Be the same character you were in your thing.
Yeah, that's technically what he's working on, like in between all his other stuff that he's got going. So, all right, that was it for the verses. Unless you have any other surprise ones you want to throw out there.
No, that one just came to me right there. So I was like, oh yeah, we might have some more next time.
That was pretty good. You never know what we'll do next time. Could be anything.
Anything.
Anyone?
You know what I'm saying? Robin McCall for the win. Denzel, I see you next week. Equalizer 3.
That's right. Go check it out Thursday.
Yep.
Maybe toss up a review. Maybe do a remote review. Till the next time. That was chat, not in chat. Peace.